Om.
So, Guruji, you first got initiated. Then, for 2 years, you practiced the rituals that were advised by your Guruji. And finally, when your kriya started, for 4 years, you had intense, regular sadhan practice going on. So, what happened after these 4 years?
After this 4 years sadhan, again I continued doing my sadhan when I was transferred from there. Then some other incident has happened. Uh, a very strange incident, I can say that. My Guruji had some desire. There are a lot of books written by his own Guruji, that is my Param Guruji, His Holiness Swami Shivam Tirtha. He authored a lot of books in Hindi, and those books were translated into Telugu language also. And my Guruji, being a Telugu person, he wanted to get that Telugu literature, if possible, compressed into about about 1,000 pages or so, if possible. And he thought that the literature can be made available to the Telugu-speaking people. So he approached a scholar, and the scholar neither he says yes or no. He agrees in principle that, okay, we will try and do it, but he doesn't start the work. And His Holiness has been approaching him time and again, going all the way to his house, and the same thing is to repeat itself.
Okay.
So, on one such day, when I was speaking to my Guruji on phone, he was informing me the same thing. He was saying, Srinivas, today also I have gone to that person. Neither he says yes, neither he says no. Then I felt a little bad that His Holiness is unnecessarily struggling, because I was aware that the scholar is not going to do it, because it would have taken a lot of time to edit all those books and write in a comprehensive way. It would have taken years, probably a couple of years at least minimum a few years, if not even 2 years. And no one will do that kind of work so free of cost, unless he is a yoga practitioner who is a disciple of the Swamiji, because it involves a lot of hard work. Then finally I told His Holiness that, Guruji, please don't bother about it. If you permit me, I will undertake this task, because I know that it's going to take a lot of time, and it's going to do a lot of hard work also. The moment I said this, it is as if my Guruji was just waiting for me to say these words. Immediately, it is as if he retorted back, no, I don't want you to write that. I want you to write something else. My experiences during the awakening of Kundalini energy. Under this theme, you write a book.
Oh.
It was as if it was waiting to happen. It was waiting to happen. And it hit me like anything. And then I immediately said, His Holiness, because in those days, generally people used to say one is not supposed to reveal his experiences in the public,
yes,
except to the fellow practitioners. Then my Guruji said, that's all right, but I'm your Guru, so I'm giving you the direction. So you will be absolved of that sin if at all it incurs on you. And further, he also added that no one speaks anything about these things. Then how will the world will come to know what happens after Kundalini has awakened? Today, there is so much of literature available, wherein you know what happens after Kundalini energy is activated. And how do you think that the people have come to know of this thing if no one has ever revealed it? Even from the ancient times, whether it had been some sage or some great yoga practitioners, someone must have said these things now. Someone must have revealed these things. If everyone thinks that, no, it may be harmful for my yoga progress, or my spiritual progress, if I reveal these things, then the world would never have come to know only this knowledge. Okay, then that is besides the point. Who am I to what do you call make my opinion on this? My Guruji has directed me to do something, and I started agree to do it.
Okay.
As far as I am concerned, the matter starts with that and ends with that. That there's
You
no more
started
further
writing.
argument on that.
So you started
Yeah,
writing the book Power
I
Unknown
started
to God.
writing. Yes, I started writing the book The Power Unknown to God, and it took me a very intense writing for about 6 months. I took. The emotions used to flow out of me like anything. Every day I was keeping the manuscript in front of me and started to cry a lot while writing the book.
Oh,
I didn't use the laptop initially. I was using hand. Yeah, I
handwritten.
was
Yes.
writing it with hand initially, and I used to keep the manuscript in front of me. As I started writing, I used to start crying. I cried and cried and for about you can say for about 6 months. And in this process, what happened was my yoga practice took a backseat. I was not doing any meditation now. My time was getting consumed in writing this book only. Then I asked my Guruji also one day, Guruji, my meditation has taken a backseat. What do I do? Then His Holiness told me, this process of writing this book and expressing your experiences and the way the emotions are pouring out of your mind, this indeed is nothing but sadhana only. That is cleaning up of the karmas. The karmas are being wiped out, and all that what do you call sad emotions, probably the karmas pertaining to the idea of that sadness and all that, they are being cleaned up.
Okay.
Then the book has been published at last, and initially people have started appreciating it. Then as a result, there is a boost up of my ego,
Okay.
and I started feeling that now I have become some kind of an international author and all that. Then what happened for the next 4.5 years, it's actually a new phase of my yoga practice has started. Yoga practice means it's not, when we are in our path, it is not a meditation related yoga practice. It is the cleaning up of the karmas. In any case, that is the central to all yoga systems. But after the awakening of Kundalini energy, it is the cleaning of karma which begins essentially, whichever may be the yoga system or tantric system on any path. So what matters here is cleaning up of the karma, freeing oneself from the karma. That's what matters. So over the next 4 years, my karma, or call it my destiny, was taking me in a different direction. First, I started publishing the book in the regional languages. Then I started publishing the book in international languages. I was interacting with so many translators, editors, proofreaders, book cover designers, and later, in order to promote the books, I was working with so many voiceover artists, video artists, like that. So for 4.5 years, as this entire process was going on, it was like a kind of a emotional roller coaster for me, right? Because some people were praising the book, some were criticizing the book, and initially when people were criticizing it, I couldn't sometimes take the criticism. I used to retort back, like that. But all said and done, it is a new phase of my sadhana. That's what has happened after the initial 4.5 years of that. That was the meditation type of sadhana. The initial 4.5 years also, when I was regularly sitting for meditation,
Yes.
in spite of the adverse weather conditions, that was a different type of yoga practice. And next 4.5 years was more related to the emotional aspect of it. So that's how my yoga practice went on.
Guruji, first of all, it's very honest, reveal to all of us that the way that you said that it boosted your ego. Not everybody is very comfortable in accepting these things on a public platform like ours right now. So thank you for that honesty, because it will help so many of us also feel normal when these things happen to us. And what I'm understanding is that our path is not just limited to meditation, which is sadhana, sitting in sadhana, but also it has many different ways in which sadhana starts to happen. So, Guruji, you mentioned about when the Kundalini awakens and how the Shaktipat happens. If you were to explain this to a complete layman in the simplest of terms of what Shaktipat really is, then how would you do that?
See, Shaktipat means literally the meaning is the descent of the energy. Shaktipat means the descent of the energy. It is, you can say, I will give you an analogy. It's like waterfall. Call it, let's say, waterfall. It is something like the descent of the energy. Then someone may say, many people, they say that no, Kundalini energy, when it awakens, it is supposed to awaken at the base of the spine, root chakra, and then climb up.
Yes.
So they misunderstand that no, Shaktipat must be something like going up, and because they think that path means what? In English, it is way only. But people are not realizing that Shaktipat is a Sanskrit word. It's not an English word. So the word path, you can't break it, actually. So, but people, they try to misunderstand that Shaktipat means it is rising of the energy from the root chakra to the cerebral region.
Okay.
But that is the process which will be affected after Shaktipat is done by the Guru. When Guru does the Shaktipat, we call it as descent of the energy. In the Sanskrit also we have the word Jalpat. Jalpat means waterfall.
Waterfall. Yes.
Yeah. Similarly, we have Shaktipat. See, when a person, what happens is, when a person is sitting on the ground, his root chakra is as it is at the ground level. So when a guru is performing Shaktipat from a distance, let's say that the guru is on the other side of the planet. So when the Shakti is reaching the disciple to awaken the Kundalini energy, it is obviously falling from above only, no?
Okay.
Because the disciple is already sitting on the ground.
Yes.
So his root chakra is already at the ground level.
Yes.
So something is coming from above only, no?
Makes sense.
So that's why we call it the descent of the energy. I hope it is clear now.
Yes. So a guru basically showers, or you can say descends the energy onto the sadhak. So it's from top to below, like a waterfall.
Yes.
Okay.
Energy will descend. It's a descent of the divine blessing, you can say that.
Ji.
And after it awakens, after it activates the Kundalini energy at the root chakra, the Shakti returns back to the Guru.
Okay.
Thereafter, whatever happens after that, it is all ascent of the energy now.
Okay.
First is the descent. You have to receive the divine blessing first. Then only your awakening will take place. Your energy will start ascending.
Okay. So
I hope now it is.
if I'm understanding it correctly, Shakti, the process of Shaktipat is nothing that the sadhak is doing. it is actually happening to the sadhak. The blessing is actually happening to him. He is not performing anything.
Exactly. There's nothing which the sadhak is doing here. Whatever has to be done, it has to be done by the guru. That's why we say that we all need to receive the divine blessing of the God. So it has to be received. It has to be given by the guru. It's not something which the sadhak does.
So Guruji,
He may be preparing himself.
sorry, yes,
He may be preparing himself before that.
I understand. So
Mentally, maybe
basically,
preparing himself.
yeah, so he can be preparing himself through practices, through rituals, mentally, emotionally. But at the end of the day, it is the guru who basically descends the energy on the sadhak. The energy goes and activates the kundalini, which is based at the root chakra of the sadhak, and then the energy goes back to the guru.
Exactly.
All right, good.
That's precisely the thing which is happening here. Only thing is the conditions, mental conditions have to be suitable for the person who is receiving the Shaktipat.
Yes, and Guruji, in the following episodes of this podcast, we will be exploring the eligibility and what are the conditions that the sadhak must qualify for getting this diksha. But for now, I want to understand that once the kundalini gets awakened inside the sadhak, then what happens further?
Once the Kundalini energy is activated, the burning down of the karma begins. It is something like, to understand this process, I will give you another analogy. Suppose there is just imagine yourself, there's a huge water tank. It containing millions of liters of water. There is an outlet and there is an inlet. Let us assume about 100 liters of water are getting drained out through the outlet from the bottom. While at the same time, another 100 liters of water are entering the tank from the inlet. In essence, the tank is going to continue like that eternally. It is never going to get emptied because 100 liters are being drained out. Simultaneously, 100 liters are entering the tank. In such a situation, if the tank has to be ever emptied of its completely, the status quo needs to be altered or changed.
Guruji,
Something has to be done either to the inlet or to the outlet.
All right, Guruji. So I've understood that the Kundalini starts to get awakened after the Diksha is given by a true Guru. I want to here also talk to you about certain misconceptions and myths, because in the on the internet there is so much information that many of the seekers are misguided by and confused by so much information. So let's address some common misconceptions first, Guruji, if you allow.
Yeah, sure.
All right, Guruji. So there is one that people assume that Shaktipat is a ritual and it is even dangerous. So how would you respond to that? Is it dangerous?
See, it is like this. Everything has a proper way of doing in life. Anything in excess leads to trouble. Or if it is not done the way it is supposed to be done, it will be, of course, lead to trouble. I will give you an analogy first before that, before answering about the Shaktipat or the Kundalini awakening, whether it is dangerous or not. Yes, a child is supposed to get, or rather, I'll give the example of someone who has fallen sick. The proper way of getting cured of the disease is to approach a medical practitioner, doctor. Not you Google around and go and buy the medicines yourself. That amounts to self-treatment. If it is a little bit minor headache or fever, it's all right. Well, you may get cured also. But what if it is a complicated disease? The proper way is to go to a doctor, not not taking the self treatment. So similarly, even for that matter, when we were talking about the child, if a child has to be get educated, the proper way is he has to be admitted in a school. He has to. It's not that the parents have got a lot of money, so they can hire the teachers and they can get the child educated at home. You know that that's not the proper way, because the child needs to have the exposure out to the society at large. He needs to mingle with the fellow other students. That's how his character building begins. So similarly, when we talk about awakening of Kundalini energy or practicing any yoga system or tantric system for that matter, there is a proper way of doing it. The person needs to approach a qualified, authentic guru, preferably in a lineage, and then start his yoga practice. When it's done in that proper way, then there's nothing to worry about it or fear about it. Otherwise, we have seen so many examples where people do all kinds of yoga practices, especially meditation, and there is a chance of accidental awakening of Kundalini energy, and they're in trouble. I myself have the example of so many people approaching me who had their Kundalini energy activated accidentally. And in such a situation, even a Shaktipat guru also is not supposed to interfere. You can't. There's nothing which can be done about it, because it will be a risky thing for the Shaktipat guru also. Shakti is a conscious entity. It's a super conscious entity. It is a supreme cosmic power. It instantly knows what a person is up to and what a guru is also up to. Wherever these things have happened, people their egoism has been sorted out by the cosmic power. So from that point, if they want to say no, it is dangerous. Firstly, you do something stupid. You do something which is not supposed to do. You don't follow the scriptures or the texts or the principles of yoga, and you don't want to accept another human being as your guru, and you don't feel like exercising self-surrender to another human being as your guru, without realizing that it is not the person to whom you are exercising self-surrender, but to the divine in the form of a concept of guru, what we call it as Guru Tattva. Without realizing that, with the egoism, if the people practice that on their own, then what do you expect? Obviously, it will be dangerous. And it will be dangerous indeed. If accidental awakening takes place, there could be total paralysis of the body, or maybe the sexual organ may get impacted. People may become psychologically ill. They may have to be written off to mental asylum. So many things can happen, and modern science will not be able to come to help them also.
Understanding, yes.
Yes, it is from that point. Otherwise, if it is Shaktipat is done by a proper authentic guru, then everything will be normal. Everything will be proper.
So, Guruji,
what
I understand is that Shaktipat in itself is not dangerous if it is done by proper method and followed by the scriptures under an authentic guru. Then the guru takes care of the sadhak. But if people do try things and try to do it themselves, then yes, it can turn into an accidental awakening, which may be dangerous. Am I right, Guruji?
Yes, it is. In fact, even driving for that matter, you want to learn driving, is it not risky without supervision of someone who knows driving?
That's a good example.
If you try to learn driving on your own, it is dangerous for you also. It is dangerous for the people who are moving on the street also.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
So everything needs to be done in a proper way. Then everything is safe. These kind of aberrations, these kind of aberrations are for those who don't want to do the things in the proper way because of the ego issues.
Another clarification.
I hope you got the crux of it.
100%.
When we say
Very
that,
well explained with the example of the medical doctor and the example of teacher with the student and the driving example. Now it's pretty clear that some things need to be followed, some processes need to be followed, and thank you for that. Another misconception, or maybe just a clarification, is Kundalini awakening same as Shaktipat?
Yes, of course. But then there is something else also which happens in Shaktipat. Kundalini is awakened with Shaktipat procedure. And for some many people, Kundalini energy is already active from their past life. In such people, the energy will now get stabilized. Because what happens is, once the energy is awakened for anyone, it is forever. It will never die down after that. It may become dormant, but it will never die down. Suppose someone had done serious yoga practice last birth. Let us take the example of, let's say, any yoga, particular yoga system like meditation-based Ashtanga yoga or what we call Raja Yoga. Now, he had all his life, he had performed various, they followed the Yama, Niyama, various parts of the Ashtanga yoga system.
Yes.
Pranayam, and then did a lot of performed asana, did asana practice, and then did lots of meditation. Finally, the Kundalini energy has been awakened. But by then, his life is also over, and he must have either died or natural causes, or maybe either he would have died of some diseases, or he must have met with some accident and died. Now the energies are already awakened for him when he takes birth in the next life. But the energy is in a state of unstable condition because he has left a previous body and assumed a new body. And in order to practice this yoga, again the principle of guru and the disciple can't be violated. That means a person can't start practicing yoga on his own again. That will be violation of the basic principle. Just we talked about earlier. How there is a proper way for everything. So, but at the same time, there is no need for him to practice the Ashtanga yoga all over again. Wherever he has left that yoga in his previous life, the yoga practice will begin for that person exactly from that point onwards. So for such person, he doesn't need another Ashtanga yoga guru. What he needs is a Shaktipat guru. So when the Shaktipat is performed on such person, the Shakti is now stabilized in a way. Something like, I'll give you another analogy of boiling water in a vessel. Suppose you are cooking some hard variety of lentils or something. You can't put the fire in full high temperature all at once. It may not get boiled properly. For that, you will have to put the stove in a kind of simmering mode, so that on a low heat, it starts boiling. In that way, the lentils are cooked thoroughly and properly, not just superficially. Same is the situation here also. Unless the Shakti is stabilized, the big burning of karma doesn't happen proper way. It will happen in a very opposite way. And in any case, in those people who have just come to the, I will talk about the conditions which are required for the performing Shaktipat later on. When for certain people, where the conditions are almost approaching the kind of a
Optimal level.
optimum way, then when the Shaktipat is performed on them, Kundalini energy is directly awakened
Awakening. Okay.
for the
Okay.
first time.
So Kundalini awakening, Guruji, is basically the awakening of the energy, and Shaktipat is a process which gives it stability. Can I put it this way?
No, not like that. See, Kundalini energy is anyway gets awakened after the Shaktipat is done.
Hmm.
But Shaktipat is the technique which is used
It's the technique.
to awaken the Kundalini energy. Also to stabilize the already awakened Kundalini energy.
Oh,
So
that's
there are
very
two components
nicely
in
put.
this.
That
Yeah.
Shaktipat is the technique used to awaken the Kundalini energy and to also stabilize the already awakened Kundalini energy. That's a very nice
Yes, that's right.
understanding. All right, Guruji, that was very, very insightful, the entire episode, and we are at the end of this episode for today. But definitely, we promise our audience that we will come back with another many such episodes. As we've seen today, that Shaktipat isn't just a word or a concept. It is a sacred transmission that begins an inner transformation, a silent unfolding of something divine within us. In our next episode, we will go deeper into the larger system that carries this sacred technique, which is called Siddha Mahayoga. What does it mean to follow this path? What happens after receiving Shaktipat? And why is it known as a path that works silently, naturally, and powerfully without any struggle? Guruji will be answering all this and more, including how this yoga is practiced in daily life and how it supports spiritual evolution in a world full of distractions. Until then, thank you so much for listening. May this be the beginning of a deeper journey for all of us. Thank you.